Wrath of the Lich King Classic is coming, and you're gonna soon find out that tanks are king. And we're gonna go over the King of Kings right now, the Protection Paladin. The Protection Paladin is one of the tankiest, meanest classes in the game. Not only they got insane defensive cooldowns to survive almost anything, they scale crazy with gear, so it only gets better as the expansion goes on. They specialize in utility and they are the uncontested best off tank. First, what race do we pick? For the Horde, there's only one choice, obviously the Blood Elf, but the racials are not that bad, honestly. You get some mana with Arcane Torrent, which is nice, and some Magic Resist, which is whatever. Nothing to write home about, but it's a decent race. For the Alliance, first we got the Human. You get an Expertise racial, which is nice because you need a certain amount of expertise to function properly as a Prot Paladin, and also you get a 10% reputation bonus, which is really good. People sleep on this racial a lot. If you don't have a lot of time to play, I recommend you play Human just because it's gonna make your grinding 10% faster. Then you got the Dwarves, my favorite race on this list. They got Stone Form, which is really nice. It's a decent cooldown for defensives. Then you got Frost Resistance, which this expansion almost everything does frost damage, so this really adds up. And then you got Mace Specialization, which is like the Human racial but only for maces. You get a little expertise. Again, expertise is really good. Solid race overall. Lastly, we got the Draenei. Nothing special to talk about. They got hit rating, which is okay, I guess, 1%, but if you got any other Draenei in the party, you get the racial anyway. Not a lot of reasons to play a Draenei except for those huge goat milkers. It is what it is. Alright, for the build. Here is the talent build you should be using. It's gonna be in the description. The idea of this build is flat reduction of damage and multiplying your stamina. For major glyphs, you should be looking at Glyph of Divine Plea, which will reduce the damage taken by 3%. That is huge. It scales with your stamina, it scales with all your mitigation, it makes you even a higher scaling monster. Glyph of Seal of Vengeance for extra expertise, nice to have. And then the Glyph of Righteous Defense, which makes it harder for your taunt to get resisted. In Wrath of the Lich King we got a lot of tank swapping mechanics, and if you mess up a single taunt, chances are you're gonna wipe the raid, so this is very important to have. Minor glyphs should be the Glyph of Lay on Hands, because that is one of your emergency buttons, and having a lower cooldown is gonna make you survive more. Glyph of Sense Undead is gonna give you 1% more damage to undead, and this is an expansion about the undead, so you're gonna be fighting a lot of them. Nice to have for threat generation. And then you get Glyph of Blessing of Kings just for the lols, because there isn't anything better to get. It is not important at all. You can get this third glyph whenever you like, it doesn't really matter. Stat priority. This part is pretty simple actually. First you get your defense cap of 540, you get some minimal return if you go higher than this, but there's no point in doing that. Then you gotta work on your hit cap, which is 8% or 263 rating minus all the buffs. If you are Alliance, you get the Draenei racial, so that's 1% less you gotta get. And then you gotta get 26 rating of expertise for the cap. And you also gotta consider the combat expertise talent, and the Glyph of Vengeance will count towards it too, so that's less expertise you actually gotta get. And now for the long one. You gotta stack a lot of stamina. How much stamina? Yes, all of it. Really, your class is designed to multiply your stamina. The more stamina you have, the better you scale. Mitigation is nice, mitigation is okay. If you have some dodge, if you have some parry, that's good. But that only reduces the chance that you're gonna get hit. Eventually you're gonna get hit no matter what. And bosses in Wrath sometimes do stupid damage, especially mechanics. If you're gonna get hit no matter what eventually, you better be able to survive the one shot. Healers, if you're doing the mechanics right, should be able to keep up with you, unless you have like terrible mitigation. You should be getting a lot of mitigation residually over improving your gear anyway, so I shouldn't be actually fishing to get dodge or parry instead of stamina. I will just go for stamina straight up. In Wrath of the Lich King, it is impossible to get uncrushable anymore. You will get crushed eventually, no matter what. Kind of like the Feral Bear in TVC in the late game, where you were stuck in stamina to survive crushing blows. You gotta do the same in Wrath for the Prot Paladin. Professions. For professions, I recommend Jewelcrafting and Enchanting. Why? Because you get the good stamina gems and you get the stamina enchant for your ring. Both are great. Remember, you wanna stack all the stamina you can, this is the best way to do it. Also, I guess engineering is okay, I guess. Single target rotation. By the way, don't forget to turn Righteous Fury on, you forget to turn it on, you die, everybody dies. Alright, whenever possible, you wanna pull with Avenger's Shield, but keep in mind, this thing bounces, and it might pull extra packs if you're not careful. If threat is a concern to you, when you pull you pop Avenging Wrath your wings, because you do extra damage and that means more threat. Remember, if you lose aggro, that means that you get no mana generation, no threat generation almost. So if a mob goes stray, taunt it right away before you see everybody you ever cared for. Die! For single target, you throw Judgement of Wisdom because you're gonna have so many mana problems you won't even believe it. Then you spam Seal of Vengeance for damage for the extra expertise too. And Judgement of Vengeance will not override your Judgement of Wisdom, so spam that too. If there is no other Paladin in your group, you're gonna be forced to have Seal of Light on for the regeneration, but this really sucks because you're gonna be forced to choose between having mana or not dying. Neither is good. So yeah, if it is possible for you, get another Paladin in your party. Everybody's gonna appreciate that. You wanna keep Consecration on the ground all the time. You wanna keep Holy Shield up all the time. And then you just fill the time left spamming Shield of Righteousness and Hammer of the Righteous. AoE rotation. Seal of Command is an AoE spell now. You get to hit multiple things with it. It's great. Keep that up all the time alongside Consecration and spam Hammer of the Righteous on cooldown. And don't forget, keep Holy Shield up. Cooldowns. Paladins have 1,000 emergency buttons, so I'm gonna read off this list because I know I'm gonna forget one. First you got Divine Protection, that reduces damage taken by 50%, great cooldown. Then you got Divine Sacrifice, it makes you absorb the damage that everybody else is taking, so not only you can help your raid with it, but also remember, the more damage you take, the more mana you generate with Spiritual Atonement, so if you're low on mana you can pop it too to get more mana. Lay on Hands is a spell that heals you for all your health at once, a long cooldown, but really strong now since it doesn't drain your mana anymore. Hammer of Justice is a stun. Nothing more to say, use it on trash mobs to make pulls easier. Divine Shield bubbles you and makes you immune to damage, but remember, if you use it you instantly lose aggro, so it is very situational. One cool thing you can do with it is you can set up a macro to pop it and get rid of the buff right away, so that way you can get rid of a lot of nasty debuffs. Hand of Protection is like Bubble but for other people, and you can save them with this, but remember, it doesn't protect them from spells. Hand of Sacrifice allows you to absorb a party's member's damage taken. Divine Sacrifice but single target. Hand of Freedom removes crowd control of a party member. And Hand of Salvation removes all threat from a party member for 6 seconds. Essentially being a second Hand of Protection really. Oh man, that was a lot of cooldowns. Yeah, Paladins got a lot of tools. This isn't even all of them. I could go on for an hour. You should be able to do a half decent job at tanking your first dungeon with all this information. But keep in mind, this is not by any means everything you should ever know about Prot Paladins. They are a very deep class. I made this guide to be a quick way for beginners to get a hold of it. I put a few guides and best in slot lists in the description. You better read up and start pumping because this is not easy, alright? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe and hit the notification bell for we got a lot more coming. If you wanna support the channel, check out our merch in the description down below, and above all, behave and have a great day, homeboys.